Justin said who is top five. Now, I want to clarify.
No. Just Justin, you said who is the top five quarterback in front of Joe Burrow?
So let me be.
I think I lost his mind.
Let me say this now. And I'm going to give you my argument and why. So Tony asked, or no, sorry, I asked the question first, which I said if CJ had beaten the Chiefs, how high would niggas have him? Because I feel like Joe Burrow has gotten a lot of extra press and extra like additives because he's the only active quarterback to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. The only other guy to do is Brady. Obviously, Brady's not active anymore. So I said, if CJ does it, like how high does CJ go on his list? If you go from the Texans' second worst record in the sport 2 years ago to AFC Championship game in year 2. And then it got from there to Tony asked, well, how high do you have him? And I said, how I had him, and I was like, he's kind of on that borderline for me. He's not. Shut the fuck up, phone. Like he's not in the top 5, but I'm not mad at niggas having him top 10. And then Tony asked me what top 5 was, and Mahomes is 1, just because you can't argue the resume right now.
Same.
Lamar's 2. Allen is 3. And I said Burrow was 5. And then Tony asked, well, who the fuck is 4? And I said Matthew Stafford. And my reasoning for Stafford being in the top 5 and ahead of Burrow is I think especially if Stafford gets to another Super Bowl, which I think is a lot more likely now. I think they beat the Eagles today, and I do think the Commanders are a great story. I don't think the Commanders are going to the Super Bowl. Sorry, Wale. I still want that interview, though. If the Rams get to another Super Bowl, and obviously it's going to be tough whoever they play, we are going to look back at Stafford's career, and why I think he's top 5 is this nigga played on the most dysfunctional franchise, them and the Browns, of my lifetime, which is the Detroit Lions prior to like 3 years ago. The 2 greatest receiving seasons of the 21st century, Calvin, when he broke the record, Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown. 2 of the best. Both Stafford was a quarterback. Stafford immediately leaves Detroit, wins a Super Bowl with the Rams. Where I think Stafford is better is, and this is the part that, again, I'm aware not everyone's going to roll with this. I've seen what the next iteration of Stafford looks like, and it just gets better, where I haven't seen the next iteration of Burrow, which is you have this year 2 peak, get to the Super Bowl, boom, all these crazy things. And it's gone downhill since then, and he's literally about to enter the least talent he's ever played with because, again, my hot take for the offseason, the Bengals fucked this all up, and they don't have Chase or Higgins. But if they just only retain Chase, now you're going to have Chase by himself, no Higgins, and we'll see what the rest of the roster looks like. I just outright think he plays quarterback better than Joe Burrow from the same perspective of not really trying to compare players, but just this is the NFL I grew up on. Tom never had crazy stats the first half of his career. He didn't really start having crazy stats until 2007. But Tom was a better quarterback than 99% of guys in the NFL. And I think Stafford's in that same boat, whereas, and because you wanted the last, and it's really just him and Burrow, as far as the last dudes we look at as just straight pocket passers at that level. Yes, Kirk Cousins still technically plays football, kind of.
Okay. All right, bro. All right, bro. So let me get this right. Your thing is that because he's had, and this is a question, because he's had Chase and Higgins, you feel that they've contributed a lot to his success as a quarterback.
Yes.
Saying your success as a quarterback is because of the receivers you have, an argument of Matthew fucking Stafford is crazy. Number one.
I can counter that too. Because Stafford's got 2 5Ks? No, he's got 1. And Stafford's, wait a minute, I had this off the top of my head. Hold up a second here. Because, and yes, I'm aware of what number 81 did for the first part of his career. Very well aware. But if you look also, again, he did that shit with Kupp, whose Kupp's only has And I know it sounds like Cooper Kupp is now a household name. Kupp has one great year. Kupp has one great year.
Justin, that's not true. That's just not
look
true.
Look at Cooper Kupp stats. He has one great year. That Triple Crown year is crazy. Then look at the rest of his career.
He was 1161 and 10 touchdowns in 2019 with Jared Goff.
Where's the 5,000? 2011. Okay, so you still had him. No. Right?
He was his rookie year, he was 62, 869 and 5 touchdowns. I'm sure the snaps in the games played was lower. He was hurt in 2018. 2020 with Goff again. He was 92, 974 and 3 touchdowns. In that COVID year, when I'm sure he was hurt, he probably missed a game or two. That's why he was short 1,000. So the Cooper Kupp was a good receiver before Stafford got there. Plus, they traded for Odell. Plus they traded for
Odell's only
all-star.
Triple Crown.
They traded for all-star defense. And Stafford stunk that goddamn Super Bowl year. He led the league in picks. So that and then all of this is not even a legacy thing, because if that's like bringing in the career shit is like, okay, Aaron Rodgers is still a top 5 quarterback. So it's like that's not even necessary.
And that's because it sounded like you kind of going off of even what you mentioned in the Super Bowl, it's like, all right, are you going off of like his entire career?
Stafford's first year with the Rams, he went 41-17. I'm not going to say like he stunk that year.
The stats is one thing. I watched
and then he almost had 5,000 yards.
That motherfucker was not that good.
Man, look.
Now, and even if we want to go to 2021, it's like, all right. So 2021 is irrelevant to this whole thing because we're talking about 2024, where statistically he's not better. Eye test wise, he's not better. Like, I just don't. If you want to make the argument he's a better quarterback, like all time than Joe Burrow, sure, he beat the motherfucker in the Super Bowl. If you want to say over the last few years he's been better, that's not true, but sure. But today, in today's NFL, when we're talking top 5 quarterbacks, he's not a top 5 quarterback, let alone better than Joe Burrow.